Time now is 8:15. The Conservative Party chairman says they will fight every single day to win back the Rochester seat taken by UKIP.
The UK Independence Party has secured its second seat in the House of Commons after Mark Reckless won yesterday's by-election in Rochester and Strood.
They also won a seat in Clacton from the Conservative Party last month. The UKIP leader Nigel Farage joins us now from Rochester. Mr Farage, thank you very much for your time this morning. Just wondered, first of all, if I could ask you what message this win sends out.
The message is very simple. It is, if you vote UKIP, you get UKIP. In the past, people speculated if you vote UKIP, will you let Labour in, will you let the Tories in? What we've shown here in a seat that was number 271 on our target list is that we can be winners. And that, I think, transforms our prospects for the general election next year.
So looking ahead to the general election, and that is inevitably where all eyes go, the one reality that you surely must face is that if you vote UKIP in the general election, you do not get a UKIP Prime Minister.
Well, I mean, just look at the by-election the other week at Hayward and Middleton. UKIP, the challenger to the Labour Party. Why did UKIP not win? Because still too many people voted Conservative. And from Birmingham up to Hadrian's Wall, if you vote Conservative, you will get Labour because UKIP is the only challenger there. So those arguments are out of the window. We want this country to have a referendum to decide whether we govern our own country or not. That referendum will only happen if we get enough UKIP MPs into Westminster on May the 7th next year. And I think what happened last night in Rochester takes us a massive step forward on that route.
We spoke to William Hague a little earlier on in the programme. I'm not sure if you're aware of his comments this morning. He made it very clear that the position they will take ongoing is that they will fight, of course, to try and get that seat back from your UKIP MP, but also made the point that come the general election, people will be mindful of the fact that they will either have a Conservative or a Labour government. And he said that if you vote UKIP, what you'll get is Miliband, and that catchphrase is clearly going to become an important part of their election campaign.
Yeah, poor old William Hague, just hopelessly out of touch, not just with public opinion, but with understanding the way politics has changed. Look at this result last night in Rochester and Strood. Why did UKIP win? Did we win because we just got Conservative votes? No. We won because we didn't just get those votes. We got Labour votes, we got non-votes, we got Lib Dem votes. The Conservative makeup of our vote last night was a minority of the votes that we picked up. And William Hague can talk about the general election. I've listened to all the experts after the European elections telling us we'd never win a single seat in Westminster. Then we won Clacton. I listened to Grant Shapps and David Cameron saying we wouldn't win Rochester and Strood. We won that last night. We are exceeding expectations, and our voters out there, they believe in UKIP and they want to vote for UKIP in every possible election.
Why did Mark Reckless get more votes as a Tory than he did as a UKIP parliamentary candidate?
Well, I think he did remarkably well as a UKIP candidate. I mean, remember that we've grown up in this country for hundreds of years with a first-past-the-post system. There are still a lot of people who vote Labour or vote Conservative because their mother and father and their granddad did, or whatever it is. And to change people's vote under a system like that is a difficult thing to do. And it just shows you the enormity of what UKIP is beginning to achieve, that we won a seat that was number 271 on our target list.
I wonder if I can ask you about Emily Thornberry, the shadow cabinet, the Labour shadow cabinet member who posted an image of a house, and there's a lot of criticism and suggestions, I think, from some of your members that it shows a lot about where the Labour Party is now. I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, the Labour Party hate the concept of Englishness. They have done for a very long time. In fact, New Labour can't even stand the concept of patriotism. They think the flag somehow is unpleasant, backward-looking and nasty. People like Emily Thornberry would rather we had that blue flag with 12 stars on it that comes to us from Brussels. I don't want that. I reject that. And the idea that she sneered and looked down her nose at a white van in Strood with a cross of St George on it tells you all you need to know about New Labour and why they're doing so badly with ordinary people in this country.
You've benefited from Tories jumping ship and joining your party and then standing for election. That's happened twice now. A lot of people will be asking the questions. Indeed, people are saying openly that there are talks going on with other Conservative MPs. What's the reality of this? Because you're a straightforward politician. You can answer that question honestly. Have you had a conversation recently with any other Tory MPs?
I've had conversations with lots of people over the course of the last few weeks, including Tory MPs and Labour MPs. And no one's going to jump today or tomorrow, but I think there'll be, some real sucking of teeth over the next few weeks. And I think people will work out that actually next year, in some constituencies where there is a big Conservative and Labour vote, given that we draw our support from across the board, there'll be people out there whose chances of winning next year will be better on a purple rosette than on a blue rosette. And I would be very surprised if more people did not join us from the Conservatives and perhaps even Labour too between now and the next election.
And you can be straightforward and clear that those conversations are taking place with Labour MPs as well as Conservative MPs.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are a growing number of people on the backbenches in Westminster who are deeply frustrated with their own leaderships, deeply frustrated that we've opted back into the European arrest warrant, for example, very upset at the 1.7 billion tax demand that we got the other week, very upset that yesterday, once again, we lost another judgment in the European Court of Justice, an action that was taken by the Chancellor of the Exchequer. There are people on the left and on the right recognising that the single most important issue in British politics is whether we govern our own country and make our own laws.
Nigel Farage, UKIP leader, thank you very much for your time.